Master ASMR video. So today I'm going to be reading Pokemon. I'm gonna start with the first, from the first 100. I don't think I'll get through all 100, but I will just go in order. So I'll do number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. And I'll briefly describe their appearances, and I'll tell you guys their names and what numbers they are, and what type they are. And then I can use their names as triggers too, because some of them have pretty fun names. I got this idea, by the way, from during a live stream. And Jack Liam was there, and I mentioned doing a Pokemon video, and I think it was Jack Liam or maybe somebody else who said to read the Pokédex. So I tried to go to the Pokédex and see if I could read it, but unfortunately they do not allow people to read it for copyright reasons. You can read it for yourself, but you can't read it out loud and then record it and then post it. And you guys know how Nintendo is with lawsuits. So yeah, I'm not gonna take the risk, even though it's very unlikely, but still. So instead, I just decided to describe their physical appearance and just read out their names instead of actually reading straight from the Pokédex. So yeah, without further ado, happy November, by the way. Without further ado, I will go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, the first Pokemon is Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur with an index of 1. It is a grass and poison type. Yeah, it looks like a dinosaur turtle. Okay, next is Ivysaur with a index of 2, also of type grass and poison. Ivysaur. Ivysaur is a little bit more blue than Bulbasaur, and it has a flower on its back, whereas Bulbasaur's bulb has not yet bloomed yet. Okay, the next is Venusaur, the final version of Bulbasaur. I think it's called the final evolution. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with Pokemon. So we have Venusaur, which is number 3, which is also grass and poison. And the flower on Venusaur is fully bloomed, and he looks much larger, like maybe a frog or a toad. With a flower on his back. Very cute. Venusaur. Okay, and then next we have Charmander. He is a fire type and has a number of 4. And it also looks like a dinosaur with a tail that is always on fire. So yeah. I wonder if Charmander can light things on fire with his tail. Like, what if he's just walking in the forest and then just lights everything on fire? Is that how it works? I don't know. Okay, next we have Charmeleon. Number 5. He is type fire also, and he has a little horn on his head, unlike Charmander, who is completely bald. And he is a little bit more red colored. And then next we have Charizard. Number 6, who is a fire and flying type. Charizard looks like a dragon with blue wings. Well, at least the inside of his wings are blue. And yeah, I'm guessing you all know what Charizard looks like. Okay, next is Squirtle. Squirtle is number 7 and is a water type. Looks like a turtle that is blue and stands on 2 feet with a curly tail. I think. Next is Wartortle. Number 8, who is a water type again. Wartortle looks like a Squirtle, but it has like, I don't know how to describe it, like 2 wings on its head, like 2 small wings on its head. It's a little bit more dark blue, and its tail is larger and has like more wave patterns on it. And then next we have Blastoise, who is a water type, and he is number 9. He has like some, I don't know how to describe, like water guns coming out of his shell, like 2 water guns, one on each side, and he looks like a large turtle. I don't know how else to describe it. Oh, I can zoom in. Okay, that would be a lot better actually. Yeah. And then Blastoise's tail is smaller than Wartortle's, interestingly enough. So, yeah. Okay, next we have Caterpie, who is a bug type, and he is number 10. It looks like a caterpillar with like a weird red antenna on the top of his head. And yeah, he becomes Metapod, number 11, a bug type. Even though it's supposed to be a cocoon, it has eyes. So I think this is like the cocoon phase of Caterpie, and then it becomes Butterfree. And it's basically just a butterfly with white wings, a purple body, and red eyes. Next we have Weedle. Pretty similar idea to Caterpie's like evolution trail. So Weedle looks like almost a centipede kind of deal. It has a horn on its head and a large pink mouth, and its head is completely spherical, and it's made of a bunch of connected spheres. I don't know how to describe it. He is number 13 and is type bug and version of Weedle. Kakuna is a yellow color, where Weedle is a brown color. Kakuna is completely bald, has a round head with 2 eyes, and it looks like a cocoon, yeah. It is also a bug and poison type, and it is number 14. Number 14. Okay, after Kakuna we have Beedrill, number 15. Beedrill is a bug and poison type, and it looks like a bee with two arms that has like drills at the end of each arm and 2 legs. It has 4 wings and a stinger at the end of its body. Weirdly enough, even though it's supposed to be a bee, it only has 4 legs and not 6 legs. Okay, next we have Pidgey. Is it Pidgey or Pidgey? Pidgey. Pidgey or Pidgey. At number 16, a normal and flying type. It just looks like a bird. I don't know how else to say. It just looks like a bird. Well, I guess it looks like an adult bird. How about that? With a brown back and a lighter tan color in its front. And it has like a small little crest on its head. Next we have Pidgeotto. Number 17, which is the next evolution from Pidgey. And it has a red and yellow tail. And it has a larger, like, crest on its head that's red and it's longer. It looks like a slick back. And then number 18 we have Pidgeot. I don't know. Pidgeot is a larger bird with a completely red tail and a longer head crest. So yeah. Next we have Rattata. It looks like a purple rat with a tail that curls upwards, which is a normal type. But there's also the Rattata Alolan form, which is a black rat. And it has like little things on its ears. It looks a little scarier. That is the dark and normal form, or normal type of Rattata, I guess. I don't know. At number 19. At number 20, we have Raticate. It looks like a hamster. its underbelly is yellow, but its back is purple. Purple, purple, purple. Next, we have Arbok, which is the evolution of Ecans, and it looks like a cobra with a face on its like cobra wings or whatever you call it. It is a darker purple, more muted purple, almost like a gray color, and it has like an interesting pattern on its like wings. I don't know how to describe it. And then it has fangs, and it looks less derpy than Ecans. Next we have the legendary Pikachu, 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 at number 25. I thought maybe Pichu would be here, but maybe Pichu is like a later addition. I don't know. So Pikachu is an electric type, and it looks like I don't know, a hamster that is yellow with black tipped ears and two red like blushes on its cheeks and a very angular tail that looks like a lightning pattern. Next we have Raichu. Raichu is number 26, and it's the evolution from Pikachu, and it's an electric type, and it looks like a Pikachu with a longer tail and a thinner tail. It has black ears and black tipped legs as well, and is a little bit more orange colored. Also, the blush marks on its cheeks are no longer red but yellow. There's also the Alolan form of Raichu, which has more swirlies on its body, like it has swirly ears, and is also a darker brown color. So yeah, Raichu. Next we have Sand Shrew, a ground type, and it looks like an armadillo. Yeah, an armadillo. There's also the Alolan form of Sand Shrew, who it looks like a whiter armadillo, like a silver color. Next at number 28 is Sand Slash, which is the evolution of Sand Shrew, and it looks like a hedgehog, like a bunch of spikes on its back, and it has very large front claws to slash things with. There's also the Alolan form, which has ice spikes on its back and is blue colored. Next we have Nidoran. Nidoran. I'm guessing Nidoran is the female version of this Pokemon. This is an interesting thing. I always noticed that like the Nidoran and the other Nidoran. Oh, never mind. Yeah, there's gendered forms of Nidoran. I don't know if there are other Pokemon with that kind of system, but there are different genders for Nidoran. So the Nidorans are like rats, and the female version is blue, where the male version is more purple. And yeah, the female version looks more bulbous, and round, whereas the male version looks more spiky and like tough and like hard. Oh my god, no! Like it looks like it almost has like scales on very short limbs and a tail, and it has a swirl on its head, and it has 2 ears that are tipped with a dark brown. Clefairy. Next is Clefable, which I'm guessing is the evolution of Clefairy. And it's also a fairy type. And it has like little wings, I think. And is a bit taller than Clefairy. But otherwise they look pretty similar. Next we have Vulpix. Vulpix and Ninetales were always one of my favorite Pokemon. I love them. Vulpix is like a little dog, or maybe like a little fox. Yeah, I think fox would be more accurate. A fox with 6 tails, and a little like a tuft of hair on its head, and it's like a dark red color, and it looks like a little baby fox, and it's a fire type. There's also the Alolan form of Vulpix, which has a cloud on its head and like a cloud-looking tail, and it's an ice type. And then the evolution is Ninetales. It's like the 9-tailed fox, and it is a more golden color with 9 very large tails and a very big tuft of hair on its head. And it looks like a grown-up fox, almost like a coyote-looking thing, but I guess fox would be more accurate. And yeah, that's number 38. There's also the Ninetales Alolan form, which looks very blue and very ephemeral. I don't know how to describe it. Ephemeral, almost like a ghost. And it's an ice and fairy type. Number 39 is Jigglypuff. I don't know why it's so fun to say. Jigglypuff looks a lot like Clefairy, but is more round and spherical. It's a normal and a fairy type, and it looks more like a Kirby with 2 ears and a weird like hair thing on its head. And then we also have Wigglytuff, which is the next evolution from Jigglypuff. Wigglytuff has longer ears and is shaped more like a gumdrop and less like a sphere. And yeah, it still looks like an amoeba with 4 very short legs. And then number 41, we have Zubat. It looks like a bat with 2 very long, like tail-looking things coming off of its body. It has a blue body but purple wings, and is a poison flying type. It then evolves into Golbat, which has a very, very large mouth with 4 teeth, and has 2 legs instead of the 2 tails. And yeah, blue body, purple wings. And that's number 42. Number 43, we have Oddish. It looks like a radish. It has a spherical body with a well. And then it evolves into Vileplume. Vileplume. It looks like an oddish, but it has a very large hat on its head. And it's shaped like a large bulbous flower that is red and has a hole in the middle of the flower. And it has 4 limbs as well, and its eyes are red. And yeah, I'm guessing it's based off of that one flower that smells like rotten meat. It looks exactly like that. And it's a grass and poison type. Grass and poison type. Next we have Paras. It looks like a little lobster with some mushrooms on its back. And it's a bug and grass type. And then it evolves into Parasect. And it looks like it has one large mushroom on its back. It looks a lot like a hermit crab, actually, with 2 very large pincers in its front, and its eyes do not have pupils, they're just white. I wonder why they did that. And it's a bug and a grass type as well. Okay, the next one is Venonat, which looks like a furry ball with 2 white antennas on its head and 2 large red eyes. And its body is like made of purple fur. It's a bug type, and it's a poison type. And its evolution is Venomoth, which is number 49. And it basically looks like a moth. It's completely white in color, and it has like a weird set of horns on top of its head. And then next we have Diglett. Diglett looks like I don't know, like a potato that's coming out of the ground. And it's just like a bald potato shape. I don't know how to describe it. It's a Diglett. There's like many theories as to what Diglett looks like under the ground. Maybe it's just like a really buff looking guy. Who knows? I guess we'll never know. And then there's also Dugtrio, which is just 3 Diglets together in the ground. Next we have number 52, Meow. The talking cat. Actually, isn't it that only one Meowth can talk, and it's the Meowth, Team Rocket Meowth. That's the only one that can talk, and all the other Meowths cannot talk. It's a normal type, and it's a cat, and it has like a golden thing on its head, and it looks very cute. I love Meowth. And then Meowth. Does Meowth become Persian? They missed such a good opportunity. Instead of calling it Persian with a P-E-R, they should have done P-U-R-R. Or not just P-U-R, like purr. Like how a cat can purr. They should have done Persian with a U instead of an E. Oh well, missed opportunity. So Persian is like of its forehead a red spot. Next we have Psyduck, 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 Psyduck. At number 54, it's a water type and it looks like a duck, like a really round duck. And it looks like it's very surprised because its eyes and the pupils are very small, and it has like a little hair on its head, like a little black, like thing of hair on its head. Next we have Golduck, Golduck, Golduck. Golduck is a blue duck. It doesn't even look like a duck, honestly. He has 4 feet, all of which are webbed and have claws at the end. And it has like spikes on its head. And he's blue and it has a long tail. And it looks more like a dinosaur than a duck. And it also has the red spot on its forehead, like Persian. Persian. Next we have Mankey. 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 It looks like the cross between a pig and a monkey. It's pretty much a ball with 4 limbs coming off of it and a tail. It's big, it's pretty spherical, and he looks very angry, and his arms are very long, and yeah, it's a fighting type. And then next it becomes Primate, which is number 57, and Primate is also a ball with 4 limbs. I don't think he has a tail. And he has like, I don't know, like bracelets on the end of each of his limbs. And he looks like he's gonna punch you. Next we have Growlithe. And Growlithe looks like a tiger. Like a tiger. Yeah, it looks like a tiger. Like a baby tiger with a tuft of hair on its head. And it's orange. And its tail is very, very fluffy and brown colored. And it evolves into Arcanine. I guess it's supposed to be a dog that looks like that has tiger stripes. A dog with tiger stripes. And it has a much fluffier tail and has a lot of like fur over its body. And it's a fire type. Next we have Polywack. At number 60, it looks like a tadpole with this big swirl on its belly, and it's a water type, and it has 2 little feet to swim with, I guess. And next we have Poliwhirl, which has no more tail and has 4 limbs. It has 2 legs and 2 arms, and the arms are covered in giant boxing gloves, so it can mess you up a little bit. It still has the giant like swirl on its belly, and its eyes poke out of its head like a frog. And then we have Poliwrath at number 62, and it's pretty similar to Poliwhirl, but he looks more buff. Like he went to the gym and he started lifting and became Poliwrath. Next at number 63. We have Abra. Abra looks like a armadillo that is sleeping. I don't know. An armadillo, a yellow scaly armadillo. And it's Sam's mustache. And then next at number 65, we have Alakazam. And Alakazam has 2 spoons, one at each of his hands. I don't think they're spoons, but they look like spoons, so I'm just gonna call them that. I'm sorry if they're not spoons. His torso is brown, and he has some brown knee pads, and the rest of his body is yellow. He has 2 large ears, and also 2 horns that are coming out of his face, and he has a very large mustache. I don't think it's a mustache, but it looks like one. And he looks very angry, and he's a psychic type. Okay, next we have Machop. Machop looks like I don't know, like a guy, like a person with like 3 mohawks on his head, and his body is like a gray color. His eyes are red, and he has very large fists. Very large fists. And he's also not wearing anything at all. So he's completely naked, and he's a fighting type. He then evolves into Machoke, who is a number 67, and he is a more purple color, and he's actually wearing like wrestling underwear, not underwear, like the wrestling like underwear. I don't know how to describe it. With like a belt, like a big buckle, a big belt buckle, and it's yellow, and he looks very swole and huge. Like he definitely went to the gym, and he still has like the 3 mohawks on his head, and he's very huge. Arms and the legs are very huge. And yeah, he works out. And next is number 68, Machamp. He basically has 4 very big arms that he probably like slaps people with. And yeah, 4-armed guy that's very, very swole, very scary, and he's a fighting type. Next we have Bellsprout at number 69. Number 69. Bellsprout. It looks like a plant that has been uprooted, and it can run on its 2 root legs. And he has a very like bulbous face. It looks a lot like the bee shooter from Plants and Zombies, but instead of being green, it's yellow. So it has like a yellow head, and then it has 2 leaf arms. And it's a very thin body. And it's a grass and poison type. He then becomes Weepinbell. And he has like a very large mouth. And then it evolves into Weepinbell, which I don't know how to describe it. It has a very big mouth and 2 large eyes, and it has 2 leaves on either side of its body. And it looks like a bell. Yeah, it looks like a bell. Because that's why it's called Weepinbell. And it has like a little stem coming out of the top of its head. And yeah. Next we have Victreebel, which is the final evolution of Bellsprout. And it looks like one of those ant catcher plants. Like those pitcher plants. Yeah, pitcher plant. You know, the ones that are like super slippery. So when an ant tries to like go inside of it, it falls down and then gets digested, and it can never escape. Yeah, that's Victreebel. For some reason his eyes are below his mouth. And yeah, he looks like a giant potato sack with very mean, but he still has like the weird bulbous, like balloon shapes on the top of his head. And the rest of his body is blue with gray tentacles, and the bulbous things on his head are red. And then next we have Geodude. 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 Geodude is basically like a rock with two arms coming out of its body with the ginormous fists on the end of each arm, but he has no legs, so I don't know how he moves around. It's a rock and ground type, and yeah. Next we have a Graveler, which is the evolution of Geodude, and it looks like a larger Geodude with a lot of rocks attached to him. He looks like he's made of a bunch of different rocks, and he still has very large arms, but his body is much bigger, and it looks like he does have legs, so good for him. And then finally, it's Golem. I think Golem is the final form of Geodude, I think. And it's like a big boulder with like a face coming out of it, like a turtle face coming out of it. And it has two very short arms and two like stout legs. And its very spherical body is made up of a bunch of rocks. And yeah. Next we have Ponyta. Is it Ponyta? Ponyta. It looks like a pony, but instead of a normal mane, like a normal like hairy mane, its mane is like fiery and flamey. The rest of its body is like a white color, like an off-white color, but its mane is like a bright red, orange fire. And yeah, Ponyta at number 77. And then we have number 78, which is Rapidash, which is the evolved form of Ponyta. And it looks like a full-grown horse, and it has a unicorn horn. And also, it looks like it's on fire. I don't know how else to describe it. It looks like it's on fire. And its skin color is still like an off-white color. And yeah. Next we have Slowpoke. It looks like a little sloth-looking creature that's pink, and it's laying on the ground, and it has curly ears and a long tail, and it has one singular claw on the end of each of its limbs. It's kind of funny. It doesn't have fingers or anything, just a singular claw on the end of its legs. I guess that's why it's called Slowpoke, because that's the only thing it can do. Yeah. And then it evolves into Slowbro. Slowbro looks more like a bear. That's like standing up. He now has 3 fingers in his front paws and only 2 fingers in his bottom paws. And it looks like there's another creature that's biting its tail. I wonder what the lore behind that is. There's like a secondary creature biting its tail that looks like a shell. It's like eating its entire tail. But the Slowbro looks pretty happy about it, so it seems like he's okay. At least I imagine so. So that's number 80. And he's a water and psychic type. Okay. Next we have Magnemite. some screws that are like on its body, and it flies, and it's an electric steel type. And yeah, it evolves into Magnetin. I almost read that as Megatron. I almost read that as Megatron. I once saw a meme where some girl let her boyfriend pick a name for their cat, and the cat looked really scrunkly. Like it was like a baby cat, and it was orange, and it looked like super scrunkly, with like, it was like squinting eyes and everything. And the boyfriend named it Megatron. It was pretty great. So Magnetron it looks like 3 Magnemites attached together. That's actually exactly what it is. It's just 3 Magnemites attached to each other. So yeah, that one is number 82. Next we have Farfetch'd. It looks like a bird that's holding a scallion, like a green onion. It has like a staff or something, and it's a normal flying type. And yeah, next we have Doduo. It looks like a baby ostrich, but it has 2 heads. And the heads are like ball shaped, and its body is ball shaped. So it just looks like 3 balls. 2 balls on the top and 1 ball on the bottom. It looks like the chemical representation of H2O. Anyways, he has no tail, but each of the heads has a very long beak and has very thin necks as well. And then the final evolution is Dotrio has 3 heads instead of just 2 heads. Or Dotrio, not Dotrio, sorry. Dotrio, like a D, not a T. And he has 3 heads instead of 2 heads. And it has like a tail, like a red tail. And it has like some black crests on each of the 3 heads. And yeah, okay, I'll probably do a couple more and then I'll call it a day. So next at number 86 we have Seal. It's called Seal, but looks like a walrus. It looks like a walrus, and its tail has like 2, it splits off into 2, kind of like a whale's tail, and it has a single unicorn's horn on its head, and it looks like a walrus face with the 2 tusks, and it's a water type, and its body is completely white. And then it evolves into Dugong. And Dugong looks more like a seal. And it has 2 tusks again. And it just looks like a more adult form of seal. With a also completely white body. Next we have Grimer. He looks like a slime monster. That's purple and has 2 arms, and he's like bald. And yeah, it looks like he's dripping, constantly dripping because he's so slimy. And he's a poison type, and he evolves into Muck. Muck has very small eyes compared to his head, his body, and he has 1 arm, and he's very slimy. He's still a dark purple color, so yeah. And I think that will probably be the last one that I cover for today. So Muck describing them. It feels very nostalgic actually because I used to have a Pokemon book when I was younger and it had the first 100 Pokemon in it, and I would just look at that for a while when I was bored, and a lot of these I recognize and still remember, so it was very cool